All right, I'm not going to tell you what this is, even though most of you probably know what this is. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to read a poem first, and you're going to figure out, based off of my poem, if we can tell what animal this is. I live in the desert. I'm a grouchy old grump. You can ride on my back if you sit on my hump. You may think that I'm quite an interesting animal. Do you know who I am? Of course, I am a camel. This is a big camel. Who made this camel? That is right. God made this camel. And he made the camel to live in very dry areas that are hot, called deserts. Why do you think this camel has their hump on their back? Let's think about it for a minute. I'll let you guys think about it for a minute. So the camel has a hump because we've talked about deserts before. Deserts are very dry. Do you see any grass down here? Nope, there's no grass. There's no water except for what's in this little bucket or this little bowl here. So there's really not a whole lot to eat and there's really not a whole lot to drink. So God gave the camel this hump, which is just extra fat that helps him stay alive when it's hard to find food. Some people think he stores water in here. He doesn't store water in here, but it's extra fat so that he can stay alive. And he can actually go several days without drinking anything, which we cannot do. Does he look happy? Maybe a little happy. A lot of times camels look like they're very sleepy or frowny. When we talked about our opposite cards several weeks ago, we talked about smile and frown. He looks a little frowny. When the sunshine is very bright, you might frown and put your hands over your eyes to shade your eyes. God gave the camel a special built-in, it's almost like sunglasses or sunshade over his eyes. And he also has very thick hair, you can see the thick hair right here, to help keep the sand out of his eyes. And actually his ears have that very thick hair too. Where would the camel's eyelids be? Go ahead and touch your own eyelids. It's this area right here. These are your eyelids. Okay. We have one on each eye. Camels actually have 3 eyelids on each eye. 2 eyelids have long, thick, curly lashes, and the 3rd eyelid moves side to side and wipes dust or dirt off the eyeball, just like a windshield wiper cleans your windshield or your car window. In a windy sandstorm, the camel can actually close his clear eyelids and still see where he is going. So that is pretty crazy. We're going to take a look at his knees. Do you think the camel has sore knees? No, he just doesn't have any hair on his knees. The bare spots on his knees, they're kind of padded, so that way whenever he kneels, it makes it just a little bit softer. God made camels big feet with 2 toes and foot pads that spread out to keep them from sinking into the sand. A car or a truck will get stuck in the soft sand, but camels walk where there are no roads. And God also gave them long, strong legs to help them carry heavy loads across the desert. So this camel is not carrying anything. But sometimes when people move, like to different parts of the desert, they have to bring out their stuff with them, like we talked about whenever Moses led his people out of the desert. And so the camel has to be very strong to carry all of that stuff. Camels are actually so strong they can pull plows and turn water wheels. And a lot of people use camels to get from one place to another. They are called ships of the desert. Is a camel actually a ship? No, it's a camel, but they are called ships of the desert because when the camel walks, his body sways back and forth just like a boat bobs up and down in the ocean. So some people say that whenever they're riding a camel, they get seasick. It says here that people also help camels. They feed them dry grass and dry fruit and wheat and oats. And they can also get water from a deep, deep well and give that to the camels. A very thirsty camel can drink more than 20 gallons of water in one day. So those of you who have gallons of milk at home, or some people buy like gallons of water maybe for fish tanks or just because they like that water better, a camel can drink 20 of those in one day. Do you think you could drink 20 of those in one day? Camels are grumpy. Can you say grumpy? Camels don't even like other camels. It says they bite and they kick and they spit. They also whine and they groan and they almost like complain when they have to do something. Now they really sound like the Israelites in the desert. Do you act like a camel? Do you say mean words to your brother or sister? Do you make the right choice when your parents ask you for help? God is pleased when we work for him with a happy heart. The Bible tells us to serve the Lord with gladness, which is something that we should do every day. So this is our camel. They have a sunshade on their eyes, which are very long eyelashes and eyelids that they can see through. The camel's foot is big and padded, so it won't sink into the sand. Camels help people by carrying them or carrying things that they have on their backs. And people help camels by giving them food and water and helping to take care of them. C was a camel, you rode on his hump, and if you fell off, you came down such a bump. C, what a high camel. So remember, camels are very, very tall. Okay, and it says here that you guys can pretend to be camels at home. You can wear backpacks or maybe have a doll riding on your back as you crawl around on the floor. So that would be something very fun that you could do at home to talk about camels, and make sure that you have mommies or daddies or grandmas or grandpas send Miss Green a picture of you acting like camels, because you know that Miss Green would love to see it.